and revolving display case in Watauga, Illinois. This is a perfect lighter collector for lighter collectors. Getting a little harder to find. Perfect display for your collection in your home or man cave. I did look. There is a video with this. It still does rotate the lighters, Russ.
Wow.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I was trying to think who would want this, but you just gave a very good use, in a man cave. A weed den.
Perfect for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying, 420s.
Yeah. So it's going to be higher than 120. I mean, look, the construction on anything this old is great. I'm looking at the door in the back with the hinges, and the lock, and I'm going to say they can't be asking for more than 185 for this.
Final answer?
Final answer.
So 185 to you, David, from Vintage Heaven. What do you think on this?
So this is a Rotson's display case. Lighters were very popular back in the day, and with this one, it's still working. So anything that works, rather than not working, it's going to actually go up the value of anything. Because people want something that works, and they don't have to put any effort into it. So they pay a little bit more.
Okay.
And so because of that, and because of, like you were saying about the woodwork and everything, I actually put this closer to $300 because this is a more sought-after piece from back in the day. And it's
Would you
to come
pay
by.
$300 for it, or is that the retail value?
The retail value, actually, I would think would be closer to the $400 to the $450.
So you'd pay $300
I
for
would
that.
pay $300 for it because there would still be a little bit on the bone for me to be able to do something with it.
Wow, okay.
And it's a cool display piece, so I would just on it because God, just plug it in and let it ride.
So final answer on this, higher or lower than 185?
Higher.
Higher is correct. Guys,
How much?
you might want to jump on this one. It's only $250.
Oh, my
Hey,
God.
I was only $50 off.
All right.
Well,
and-
I've already lost. Now I just have to save face against the expert. Here we
okay.
go. Oh, God, a video game. Jesus.
Did
This
you ever
is
play these back in the day?
Not this one.
82. It's a 1982 Atari CX 2600A in Plain, Wisconsin. This system has a manufacturer's tag dated March 9th, 1982. Found in storage for many years, still in great condition. Includes the Game Center, 33 game cartridges, 2 Atari joysticks, paddles, Star Raiders touchpad, the box that comes in. There's some instructions. Some of the games that are included in this one include E.T., which they buried in a landfill somewhere. Russ, what do you think the price is on this?
I had the original Atari that you had to put the colored screens on the black and white TV.
They did like the Vectron and a bunch of others like
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Wow.
I remember those.
That goes way back. That was the original Pong, basically. We wanted it for Pong because that's what they had in the arcade. I also had the Mattelevision
Oh, God.
with the flat controller,
Yes.
with the bubble buttons.
Yep. Oh, God.
Yeah, we loved that Matelevision.
I hear that it's still running today.
Really? Is this one working? Does it say?
Yes, this is
That's
a
in
working
great
unit.
condition,
Yeah.
What's the upper limit?
Upper limit, $458.95.
I'm going to say $399.95.
$399.95 to you, David, Vintage Heaven. What do you think on this?
Put you on the ropes there, didn't I, David?
Well, to an extent. So, because of it having its games and everything else, the cool part that does help with its value is that it has also its holder case. Because everybody would want to have them all together and everything, and that's really cool too. So that does help with the value part. But the 2600A isn't like one of the most sought after ones, but it is still ones that people enjoy. So I would put that actually a little bit lower, closer to around the 250 range conservatively. Because it does have the games and everything. It's just not a one that everybody looks for. And Atari is one that they like to do a lot of reboots with, meaning make newer ones. And so people are more fine picking up a newer one that's easy than picking up all the rest of the older.
When he talks like that, my confidence drains out of my body.
You know how you're really confident with like picking out music and appraising music? David's that way with vintage stuff. David, what's your final answer? Higher or lower on this one?
Lower.
Lower is correct. And
got
the clean swept. This is listed for and sold for $330.
Okay.
Could I really expect any different outcome? Really?
That was awesome. David from Vintage Heaven, stick around with us. We'll continue here in just a few moments with Corn Falling Away From Me up.
Hello.
108. David from Vintage Vintage Heaven just clean swept Russ in Marshall's Marketplace. But one of the things I noticed on the Vintage Heaven Facebook page, David, is that you did have recently not only some corn T-shirts, but you had some posters as well. And I thought that those were pretty cool. And you just happened upon these by people saying, look, I need you to sell my stuff, or how does that work for you guys?
So for the variety of part is I help people downsize. So when the kids go off to college, people go into nursing homes or unfortunately pass away, they come to me. And that works out nicely because the stuff stays locally and everything else. When people are moving, they just don't know what to do with the stuff. And so a client came in and he was like, hey, I got to get rid of these. And I was like, okay, let me see what I can do. And it's the cool part is they're all the posters from like 1999, 2000, 2001. So it was the cool posters that everybody loves and everything, especially if you think of corn. And I was like, yeah, I can be able to do something. And he was just glad that I was able to help him and everything. And that's the cool part about it, because that's a lot of people. They just want to be able to know that, one, there's a place out there that they can take the stuff to. And then two, that later on, if they want to come back and see it, if it's still available, like they can come back and everything towards it.
Will you go to somebody's home? Like if they say we're having an estate sale, I'll let you in an hour early.
Actually, so I'm the guy they call even before the estate sale. So I help them set up the stuff and everything else. So before that stuff gets onto the market and everything.
You've already picked it over. Well,
picked it over or went like, hey, this store might be interested in this stuff. Go take it to them so you don't have to worry about then waiting on to selling this stuff or anything else. Or this store might be interested in them. Especially, we got a bunch of great local stores around here in town. There's like Toy Layer that does toys. There's another one that does critique antiques called Odd Mamas. There's a mid-century furniture one that's right legitimately on the corner of 1st and 29th called Vintage to Die For. There's all these little small places, and people just don't know about them.
Who are the guys at Czech Village? I've been into... There's one big one with an upstairs and downstairs.
I think that's Czech Village Antiques.
Yeah.
Okay. And then there's A to Z Toys over by there. But all these places, like they're here. Just a lot of people, one, never knew about them or haven't had a chance to actually check them out.
Yeah.
And then you just go like, well, you could take them here. I can call them or send them pictures. And then they're like, perfect. And that's usually where I come into play. And then I go like, then with all the rest of the stuff, especially dishware and all that, then you can do the estate. Because then there's only a little bit of stuff left, and then it kind of relieves them of all the rest of that excess stuff that they had.
So do people ever haggle price with you, or is that a no-no?
Oh, no. People haggle price every single day. But I tell them the most best quote that you'll ever know. The worst that I can do is tell you no. So you can haggle with me all day long. The worst I can do is tell you no.
Okay.
At our shop, we try to do at least close to 50% to 60% of its value and everything for the pulp culture items that come in and everything. And for the clothing and everything else, we just want to make sure that it's good clothing and everything. We do mix a little bit of modern and everything, but we try to keep a lot of it vintage.
Yeah, I mean, 'cause bottom line is people go into your store because they are looking for a good deal.
Mm-hmm. And here in Cedar Rapids, we try to give them the best deal that we can.
That's awesome.
I love that. David from Vintage Heaven joining us. You're on 29th and 1st Avenue, right across from, what did you say again?
John's Lock and Key. So we're that little tiny place by itself that kind of looks like a TARDIS, and I have like police box on it. And like people love that. But yeah, it's all by itself. It's its own little entity. And yeah, it's right across from John's Lock and Key.
That's awesome. Thanks so much for coming on in here today. Congratulations on your win.
Thank you. I am going to legitimately post this on every social media site and go like, oh man, this is beautiful.